Thank you very much, and glad to be here. I think this is a really exciting topic, and glad to be sharing it with you today. So I'm John Tour. I'm the CMO of Cloudian. We are an object storage provider based in California, and we've just recently started shipping our S3 compatible object storage solution for vCloud Director. So that's what I'll talk about today is object storage for vCloud Director and what it can do for partners to help realize new revenue opportunities in S3 compatible storage services. This is a very exciting field because S3 compatible storage is becoming the standard for the cloud, and this is really what Cloudian was built to deliver, was this storage type. We are the most widely deployed independent object storage provider. We've been shipping S3 compatible storage since 2012. It's all we do, so we focus on this one area. We have the highest S3 compatibility and interoperability, so it's guaranteed to work with all the applications that your customers have or that you might want to use to offer services. And it's built for service providers. This is the foundation of the cloud, and we built the product with that in mind. So we have the richest service provider feature set in the industry to make it really easy to manage and to make money on. And it's the highest rated object storage on Gartner Peer Insights, the website where folks come in and talk about IT solutions and provide their input on what they think. And we're pleased to be the highest rated object storage in that service. So what are we talking about with VMware? Well, this is VMware's first object storage offering. This provides an S3 compatible storage endpoint within your VMware infrastructure. So this storage endpoint becomes accessible by all virtual machines running in your environment or all external users who have access to your environment. It's purchased through VMware using VCPP points, so it's fully integrated into the program. And it makes it very easy to buy and deploy, and it's done on a consumption model kind of basis. So you only pay for the capacity you're using, and that makes it very convenient. It's something that fits right in with your existing purchasing model. You can think of this, if you want to think of it in terms of an analogy, you can think of this as something just like vSAN, which of course is block storage. This is very analogous for object storage. So it runs pretty much the same way. You can run it on hardware within your cluster, you can run it on external hardware, but it's run very much like vSAN. And like vSAN, it offers integrated management. So if you're using vCloud Director, there's a plugin called the Object Storage Extension, which makes it very easy to manage from within that single user interface. If you're not using vCloud Director, it's still something you can absolutely make use of. Cloudian has many customers who are VMware service providers and have been for years who use Cloudian without vCloud Director. And it's accessible as any other storage device would be. The only difference is you don't benefit from the integrated management that vCloud Director provides. But this is something you can use either with vCloud Director or without. So what does it do? Well, it provides S3 compatible storage either on hardware you have or on hardware that's external to your cluster. Why is S3 storage interesting? Well, primarily because it's the storage of the cloud. It was built for the cloud to be easy to manage and to scale. So our solution is scalable to an exabyte, which means that within a single namespace, you can grow as large as you want, run as many applications as you want, store as much unstructured data as you want. And this is for unstructured data. Think of files, large research databases, et cetera. But it's all unstructured data. It's multi-site and multi-tenant, which means it can span multiple geographies within a single namespace, a single management environment. So it stays easy to manage even as you grow. And because it's S3 compatible, it enables revenue streams with a whole host of S3 compatible applications. Most common would be offering something like backup as a service or storage as a service using the S3 endpoint as part of that overall service. And we'll talk more about service offerings in a minute here. But the bottom line is all applications that support AWS S3 can use the storage type. And that's a growing list. There's so many different use cases cropping up for how people could use that storage service. The number just grows every day. It's a little bit confusing because the S3 storage service on Amazon is, of course, called S3. And what we're dealing with here is, of course, S3 compatible, so it uses the same language as Amazon. So we're not part of Amazon. We're not reselling Amazon, but it's S3 compatible in everything we do. And of course, it's metered by use, so you pay for this as you use it. So just let me give one bit of background on object storage just to help this fit in the larger framework. You're familiar with block storage, that's vSAN. You're familiar with file storage, that would be a typical Windows file server or a NetApp appliance. And really, those are built for different data types. Block storage is built for structured data, such as databases, typically scaling to a petabyte or two. File storage is built for unstructured data, files, documents, engineering files, images, videos, that kind of thing. Typically scaling to less than 10 petabytes, well under is usually kind of the limit for file storage. Object storage is also built for unstructured data, but it's much, much more scalable. It was really built as the foundation for the cloud. So a common example would be AWS S3 is an object storage service. And this is really built for capacity data and cloud native applications. Object storage is something you and all of your customers use every day. If you're using Netflix or Facebook, Spotify, any of this common web services, you're already using object storage, most commonly supplied by Amazon, the back end, though also, of course, Microsoft, Google, also provide object storage services within their environments. So this is a solution designed for unstructured data in large capacity environments. And that's an easy way to think of this, is that object storage is differentiated from the other storage types you think of by scale. So you think of other storage solutions such as vSAN, Pure Storage, NetApp. Those are really intended more for performance-oriented applications, as opposed to object storage, which is really intended for capacity-oriented applications. So what would be an example of a capacity-oriented application? Well, data protection, for one. So when you need a backup target, that target naturally has to be able to grow in size to accommodate all the different VMs you're backing up. That's what object storage is ideal for, because the solution will scale as your requirements grow. So you never have to stop growing in one environment, start up a new one, and start growing there. That adds workload, it adds cost. Object storage can continuously grow within that single environment. And that same value proposition applies to offering storage services, offering big data services, big data as a service, say a data lake repository for Splunk would be an example. Media services, where you're providing media archives or media editing. This provides a single repository for all that media to reside in. It's a single data lake that can grow as large as you need it to. So it starts simple to manage and it stays simple to manage, which of course for a service provider helps you to make money. The typical use cases for object storage range from, as I mentioned, backup and archive and media were two common ones, storage as a service, but also think of video surveillance as a service, or providing a data lake for bio or research data. Anything your customers are doing that requires a large amount of data in a single namespace, a single management environment, is a great use case for object storage. So really the three things that make this interesting is, number one, the scale, the fact that regardless of how large your environment grows, you're still able to manage it as one device. That's really key, because that's what keeps your management costs down, and also means you don't have to buy ahead by a year or two. So a lot of storage types, you end up buying significantly in advance of demand, because you don't want to have a lot of different storage silos. So as a result, you tend to build one storage silo that's very large with the hope that you're not going to outgrow it anytime soon. Well, with object storage, you don't have to do that. You can start at the size you're going to expect to need in the first 6 months, say, and then as that requirement grows, you can continue to add to it, but with the knowledge that you're doing it all in that single management environment, that single namespace. It starts easy to manage, it stays easy to manage. So scale is one piece of it. The other piece of this is compatibility. It works with the S3 ecosystem, which is growing to include backup applications, big data applications, other types of storage solutions such as NetApp and EMC, video solutions from Quantum. All of these work with S3 as a target for different kinds of uses, whether it's for tiering or for a backup target or for a data lake. S3 is compatible with all of these. And as I said, the ecosystem is growing because this is now the recognized de facto standard for object storage. And then lastly, cost. This is obviously a huge issue because low cost to you as a service provider means profit potential. And object storage is the most cost-effective enterprise storage type there is. Not only is this the most scalable solution, it's also the least costly solution. And what that means is it opens the door for profit potential. Most public cloud storage today is on the range of 2.5 cents per gigabyte per month. This is under 1 cent per gigabyte per month, including all the operating costs, et cetera. So, the potential for making money here is built in because it is the lowest cost enterprise storage solution. So what's in it for you as a service provider? Well, the opportunities in storage services are large and growing. Today, it's a $20 billion market for storage services. But what's really exciting is that it's growing very rapidly. And this is something that everyone can participate in because when you start talking about storage services to enterprise or mid-sized customers, they often have very unique requirements about things they're looking for. If they're looking for backup as a service, they want to know that they want to know exactly how their data is being managed, and they want to know that when they have an issue, they've got someone to call and get service. We have customers working in all kinds of different verticals, from dental to healthcare to legal to video surveillance to security. And all of these different kinds of services offer opportunities for you as a service provider to offer unique capabilities, bespoke capabilities that fit a specific customer segment or a specific customer type. A common one among our customers is storage for government. They're providing specific services to government agencies. Their possibilities are endless, and this is where the service providers can really step in and capitalize on this $20 billion opportunity. Cloudian makes it easy to manage with the integration with VCD, and makes it easy to buy and deploy because you purchase it through VMware and then pay for it with VMware points. So there's a huge opportunity, and there's an easy ways to take advantage of that opportunity, with simple storage management. The VCD integration is a big part of that because you can access all of the common management tasks from the VCD interface. So object storage within vCloud Director exists as part of a dropdown. So you just pull down that menu, select object storage, and you can begin deploying and provisioning object storage to your customers just as easily as you would any other service such as vSAN. So it's a very familiar workflow, minimal learning curve. And within that interface, you can do all of the common management tasks: create users and group, provision storage, monitor usage. You can go to our website, cloudian.com/VMware Docs, and you can see some examples. We've got some deployment guides in there that will allow you to see exactly what is possible using VCD. But it's very easy to use, very intuitive, because it's familiar to what you already know. This was jointly engineered with VMware and Cloudian and built to be fully compliant with the common VMware workflows. So please have a look at that website, and you can see for yourself some of the configuration docs and how easy it is to use. There's multiple ways this can be deployed. Cloudian is software primarily, and we are object storage software, just as vSAN is primarily software that runs on VMware hardware. We also are software that runs on VMware hardware. And there's really a couple ways to deploy it. One is it can be deployed with VCD using the object storage extension as that interface point. So that provides the plugin that lets you manage all the Cloudian services through VCD. And that can be run on existing hardware. It can be run on a VM, or it can be run on a bare metal server within your existing VMware cluster. We also offer a hardware platform. So if you prefer more of an appliance-like experience, we offer a hardware platform that has the Cloudian software pre-installed. But in this case as well, you still pay for the software the same way. It's still metered by use. It's paid for by the gigabyte per month of usage. And it's still just as easy to use because the management is still integrated with VCD. So the only difference here is that Cloudian is providing you a hardware platform with the software pre-installed. Other than that, it's the same as option one. It can also be used without VCD. As I mentioned, we have service providers and have had for years that offer VMware services and run Cloudian in their environment. And now that's possible with the software purchased through VMware. So with or without VCD, as long as you are a VCPP partner, you have access to the Cloudian software with VCPP points. So you can run it with VCD, manage it that way, or you can run it without VCD and manage it directly through the Cloudian user interface. So a couple of different options here on how to pursue it. So it's really open to all VCPP members, and we've got use cases to share with you about either with or without VCD, how it would work. What's really exciting about this is object storage is built to scale. So this scales not only within a single data center where you can grow it without limit across your environment, you can also scale it across data centers and run multiple sites, all under the direction of a single VCD management framework. So this means that even if you've got a very complex environment, you can still have a very simple management environment. So 1 point for billing, 1 point for control of the software, 1 point for control of the storage, and a single point for your customers to access. So the multi-site management means that you can offer services like DR and bill for that without increasing your management complexity, because all that ability to run multiple sites and also replicate data between those sites for DR purposes can be managed from Cloudian within VCD. So you're not having to buy any extra support or software. It's all just built in because the solution was built to scale from the start. And really, that's just a start of the kind of things that you can offer as a service provider. Storage as a service is one obvious example. Backup as a service, you can offer a complete backup solution in conjunction with some of our backup partners, such as Veeam or Rubrik, Commvault, Veritas. Can offer a complete backup solution where you're paying, the customer is paying, by the VM or by the amount he's backing up, but you can offer a complete solution with Cloudian as the back end. Archive as a service, long-term data repository, DR as a service, capitalizing on the multi-site capability, and big data as a service in conjunction with, say, Splunk, for example. All of these things can be done, with a storage back end and targeting whatever vertical makes sense for your business. And we've got customer examples in all of these areas, in SLED, and healthcare, engineering, M&E. We've got service providers who work in all these different areas offering bespoke services to these different industry groups. So it's a great way to differentiate yourself. It's a great way to provide value that the hyperscaler providers simply can't do. They aren't set up to provide bespoke services or highly targeted services to these individual groups. And that's something where you can really capitalize on that $20 billion storage services market opportunity. So an example of storage as a service, if your customers are running Splunk or Veeam or Pure or medical applications such as Highland, anything that has an S3 connector, they can use your service as the target for that. In many cases, these folks are dealing with large data sets that they don't necessarily want to pay to store on site. They don't have the infrastructure to store them on site. With your service, you can provide them a way to move that data off-site and pay for storage as they use it, secure in the knowledge that data is protected. You can offer them a single site storage service or a multi-site storage service for DR. That back end is there's so many possibilities of what you can do with it. But on the front end, your customer is really taking advantage of having a great storage service that he can then use for these scalable data types. In this environment, the money really makes sense because you can add up all of the costs, and even if you be fairly generous about the different kinds of costs, you can still be looking at in the range of a penny to a penny and a half per month, as opposed to Amazon services, which are typically going to cost more like 2.5 cents per gig per month once you start adding in any kind of access charges or management charges. People often look at the lowest cost for Amazon, which is just a storage cost. Reality is, of course, that there's many other costs that add into there, most notably the egress charges, which can really add up if the customer is actually using the data with any kind of frequency. So one thing we see in our service providers is that they match the Amazon charges, and then they simply throw in the egress charges for free. So they make money by saying we're going to match their price, but we're going to provide you a better service. And what customers love about that is it eliminates the monthly billing surprise. Customers that have used AWS or other storage services know that at the end of the month, the bill they're going to receive is not always what they expect, because it depends on how much that data was actually used during the month, and those egress charges can really add up. So by eliminating that monthly surprise, you offer right there a value-added service, irrespective of anything that comes along with the different kinds of capabilities you're offering on top of that service. Backup as a service is another great example, because this is something that enterprise customers they know it's an expensive proposition, getting a high quality, really robust backup process. You have to provide not only the backup environment, but also the storage environment, and then the ability to manage it. You can make it easy for your customers by offering a packaged backup service that is easy to use and highly profitable for you, because there's a fair amount of money involved in this. It's not just obviously providing storage space, but also the other pieces that are engaged in it. So our partners like Veeam and Rubrik make it very easy for you to provide this on a pay by the drink kind of basis, and offer a solution that's going to make you money and provide your customer with a great service. So this is really easy to buy because it's offered by VMware. So you simply go to your product users guide, which is out now. You can select the tier level that you want, depending on the amount of capacity you're planning on using, and order it through VMware. The software is fulfilled by Cloudian, and it includes software support from Cloudian. So you get enterprise support included in that monthly purchase price. We do offer installation services if you want, and those are offered directly from Cloudian. And then we also offer a pre-configured hardware platform that's also available if you prefer to go that way. And so that would mean the software is pre-installed, but you're still licensing the software through VMware. So you only pay for the hardware, and then the software you pay for as you use it, per the tiering. The support offered by Cloudian is we are in the enterprise storage business. So the customers we work with range from mid-size enterprise up to the largest enterprises, and we have a support infrastructure in place to support them all, and you can take full advantage of that as part of this program. So including 24/7, 365 support for critical issues, and a smart support system that monitors your environment for system health, and it provides proactive maintenance. We can actually alert you if things happen, such as a drive fails. We can let you know that a drive has failed and provide you with help on getting that drive replaced. This kind of support is something that's built for enterprise class customers, but it's included in the price for this VMware solution. This is listed in the product users guide, so you can go to the guide now and have a look. I think it's around page 110 or something. And this will give you the basic details on ordering from VMware. And then finally, just a little bit about the Cloudian product underlying this. So here's a couple of key points on the product itself. So it's the highest S3 compatibility. We are built around entirely the S3 API. That was what we were designed on from the start. It's designed to provide, as I mentioned, that service provider feature set. So multi-tenancy, so you can have multiple users sharing a single storage environment, fully secure, in the knowledge that there's not going to be any crossover. Each management environment is standalone to each customer of yours. It appears they have their own storage environment with their own users, groups, authentications, etc. But that's within a shared hardware infrastructure and a shared namespace for you to manage. Quality of service to make sure that each person is getting the level of bandwidth you are guaranteed to them, and then of course billing is built in. Scalability, built-in data protection, whatever level of data durability you desire, so you can configure it for whatever redundancy you need. And then management down at a granular level, which makes it easy for you to grow the environment and change things over time. So you're not locked in on any particular configuration. These are some of the things that we've been doing in object storage since 2012. We're specialists in the space. It's all we do. So it's very well suited for management within the service provider environment. And in fact, we've got hundreds of customers in the service provider space right now. Here's a couple of examples: Phoenix Snap here in the U.S., Colligo in the U.K. But around the globe, we've got service providers who are offering services with VMware that are meeting those customers' needs for scalable storage solutions. So to summarize, this is high-margin, revenue-ready solutions built for the VMware environment. So it's VCD integrated, making it easy to manage if that's what you choose. It can also deploy it without VCD and manage it through the Cloudian UI. But either way, it's sold through VMware. So you pay for it in VCPP points. You get the benefit of having a single point of billing. It's very easy to buy, very easy to deploy, and easy to pay for month after month. And it's proven in service provider deployments worldwide. As I mentioned, we've got hundreds of service providers already who are offering highly profitable services based on the solution. So the business model is there, the technical model is there, and we look forward to working with you on building out your environment. If you have any other questions, my email was on the first slide, jtour@cloudian.com. I encourage people to go check out our website also, cloudian.com, and learn more, or talk to the VMware sales rep, because this is being offered worldwide through VMware, and we're really excited and looking forward to engaging with all of you folks.